Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
With Robb Flynn.
What up? What up? What up? Podcast party people. How you doing? How you living? I've been able to get podcasts out despite being away. How about that? I was gone all week camping. Still put the podcast out. You guys still figured it out. Stoked about that. Stoked, as my Brazilian guitar tech Rodrigo would say. Stoked. I am so stoked. Shout out to Rodrigo, a.k.a. Shot Rod. Shot Rod. Shot Roddy Rod. I am coming back from a week off camping. Dude, it was epic. Oh my God. It was awesome. It was awesome sauce. Awesome sauce with a side of awesome sauce. Went up to northeast about 6 hours, 5 hours away, kind of east of Shasta and Mount Shasta, Lake Shasta, which is a big marker for a lot of people. If you know camping in California or around the world. Oh, it was killer. Bought the boat, wakeboarding, 7 days. Saturday to Saturday. Is that 7 days? Yeah, that might be 8 days. Well, Saturday, the first Saturday doesn't count because you're driving for 5 hours and packing, and we didn't even get in until 6:30. We didn't do much that night except drink and set up tents and blow up air mattresses. And when I say camping, we're camping. Like we're not in a cabin. We're not doing any of that. We're like tents. We do. Some people say that we're glamping because we got the air mattresses. We got little carpets on the bottom of the tent. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I bring all my pillows, sleeping bags. But yeah, it's roughing it. You got to take a piss. You got to climb up. You got to get outside of that fucking tent and just walk in the dark and find a nice spot and go piss in the middle of the night, which becomes a challenge when you're all hammered like we were. One night I got up. Had to go pee. It's probably like the fourth night. And I got up to go pee, and, you know, it's fucking pitch black. You can't see anything. There was a bathroom nearby. I want to say it was probably 1,000 feet away. And so a little tiny speck of lights going out, but I couldn't find my flip-flop. I could only find one flip-flop. And granted, I'm drunk, so I'm like kind of looking around, and I'm feeling around. I could have brought my phone out with me, but I just forget. And I'm like, fine, where the fuck's my flip-flop? Can't find it. I go and I take a piss, and I got to take a long ass piss. And, you know, I'm just standing on the fucking dirt and the ground and the pine needles, and I get bit on my foot. I'm like, motherfucker, the one time I don't wear something on my feet, I get fucking, and it is a super itchy bite, like fucking bit the shit out of me, whatever it was, mosquito or an ant, I don't know what it was. Wasn't too buggy though. Sometimes when you go camping, like later on, like June, July, like the season's good. You start getting into August, you start getting into September, you start getting what we call them meat bees. They're not, I think they're yellow jackets is what they're called. They're not hornets. They're yellow jackets. And then they're not a bee because they can sting you a bunch of times. Oh, they're a pain in the ass. Little fuckers. I didn't see any this time. There's a lot of ants. Good, like occasional meat bee here and there, but nothing too bad. It was so nice, man. We were just up there wakeboarding and wake surfing, and then it's got this lake we're at has got beautiful waterfall that feeds it. Fucking epic waterfall. And then it goes in, and then you can go down there, and they got a rope swing down off one of the beaches, and you can swing from they got a ladder that goes up a tree, and you can swing from the thing. Oh my God, my kids were going crazy. I didn't do it. I actually didn't do the rope. I did the rope swing 2 times from very low spot. I was like, man, if you don't remember swinging on a rope swing, so much core strength, fuck. And my core was killing me from so much wakeboarding and wake surfing. I was like, I did it once and I was like, oh my God, I'm good. Dad's gonna drink. You kids go crazy. We had our friends over there, Fred's Dean and Amy, and their son Braden. They grew up together. They have Xander and Braden have been friends since like preschool, so like since they were like 3 years old. So they're super homies, and yeah, it was good. Their daughter came up for a while, and then some other friends of ours, Carla and Ronnie, came up, and we all kicked it. It was just fun. You know, you drink about. I was drinking those hazy IPAs, going on the lake, wakeboarding, drinking those hazy IPAs. Oh, they're good. I'm on a hazy. I'm kind of off the stout right now, moving into a hazy IPA kick. Not just a regular IPA. I'm not a big fan of regular IPAs, but I'm on a hazy IPA kick. It's something unfiltered. I don't know what it is. Smooth, summery, very summery. They've got these kind of fruited hazy IPAs with like a pineapple or a tropical juicy. They got all kinds of names like that. But fuck, when you're out on the boat, that's my jam. I drank a stout and I was like, this isn't summery. This isn't summery enough. So I jammed on that. Oh, it was good. I was drinking this. What is it? Heretic Ales. Heretic Brewing here, local brewery. They got a Make America Juicy Again. That was a good one. I was jamming on that. And that was a New England style pale ale. I was jamming on the Pineapple Upside Down Cake Hazy IPA from Epidemic Ales. That's delish. Yeah, what else? I was doing some other things too. I can't remember. I had a whole little concoction of ales, hazy IPA ales, but crushed it every day. I mean, it's so much exercise you can't even, and we're hiking around the falls and we're wakeboarding and then we're wake surfing and then we're tubing the kids, and man, it's like, considering how much food I'm eating and how much beer I'm drinking, like I came back in such good shape because there's so much like exercise. Awesome. I go up, and every morning I'd go up to the falls because my campgrounds are about 2/3 of a mile down from the falls. So I'd walk up to the falls every morning. No coffee. I mean, I'd get coffee. I'd get like coffee and put some collagen creamer in there. Collagen, man, protein, bro. Get a little bit of that. I'd go up and do a gratitude list. So you get up and you go up there, and the fall. When I meditate, I usually have like a sound going. It's like falling rain, like. So the falls was perfect for that. Like it's just, and I go up there and just say all the things that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for Ginevra. I'm grateful for my son Xander. Grateful for my son Wyatt. Grateful for Bernie Falls. Grateful for everything, all of our friends there, and I name it. I name all my friends individually. I always say I'm grateful for so and so. I don't lump people together like I'm grateful for so and so, so and so, so and so, and so and so. And I always do the positive. I've been taught to always be grateful for the positive. Don't be grateful for the negative. Meaning like I'm grateful that I'm not fat or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you don't say I'm grateful that I'm not X. You say I'm grateful that I am X. I'm grateful that I'm healthy. I'm grateful that I'm in decent shape for my age. Yeah, did a week of that though. Oh, it was awesome. And then we'd get there at night, and then we'd get back at night. We'd all have dinner, and we all said it was no fight, dude. It was hot, so hot. First couple of days, holy shit, 106 degrees. That's 41 Celsius, 106 degrees Fahrenheit for you Americans, 43 degrees Celsius. It was fucking so goddamn hot. It was gorgeous, though. At night, it was nice. In fact, it was pretty hot at night, but first 2 nights, 106. Then it cooled down to 101. And then it cooled down again to 98. So, yeah, it was pretty fucking... If you follow me on Instagram, I was doing stories from all of it, though, putting up my wake surfing and putting up all my stuff. We went to the lava tube. It's all like volcanic stuff. That mountain Lassen's like a volcano millions of years ago. So there's lava rock still everywhere from some explosion that happened millions of years ago. And they got a tube of lava. It made a cave, basically, from a lava tube, and then there's no lava in there now, obviously. But it's a giant tube. So we went through the lava tube. It was nice and cool in there. It was cool. And then we get around. So because it's so hot with the 106 degrees, the fire department shut down any campfires. It's just like, you can't have campfire. They normally have like firewood that you can buy, and you can make big old raging fires. But this year, no fires. Not that anybody wanted a fire. It was so fucking hot, but we put a citronella candle, which keeps the mosquitoes away. So we'd fucking get around that, put that in the center of the little fire pit, and then we just talk and drink. I'd drink my vodka Baileys. Sugar Pie would drink her wine. Everybody else would drink wine or drinks or whatever. And it was a good vibe, man. Just tell stories, listen to music, laugh a lot. I brought my guitar, so I'd play guitar sometimes, and we'd sing along to Hotel California. That was a big hit. What was it? And I figured out how to play I've been on a House of the Rising Sun kick. I can't get that song out of my head. And then she sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambler way down in New Orleans. Can't get that song out of my head, dude. So I figured it out on guitar. It's all like that 50s kind of doo-wop style guitar. Very cool. Anyway, played that like crazy. It was fun. It was a great time, man. Good hang. Then came back, had celebrated, my wife and I celebrated our 21st wedding anniversary up there. 21 years. And we didn't even take a picture. In fact, we got in a little argument. I was kind of annoyed. I was like, we're going to fucking argument on our anniversary? Whatever. It was all good. We got through it. And that's what happens. That's what happens when you're married for 21 years. You get in an argument. After 21 years, you just get in an argument about some dumb shit. But, yeah. Small little blip. And then it was over. And then we came home. And then it was my birthday the other day. Yesterday was my birthday, actually. Yesterday. Celebrated. Not by doing much. I jumped on my Twitch and just played for a while. And, yeah, I was just kind of out of it. I was just like, I tell you what, though, up camping, they say everything's better when you're camping, right? Like, food tastes better. Like, we get burgers out there and we're eating the burgers. And we're like, oh, my God, this is the best burger. You're drinking a beer on the boat and it's fucking 106 degrees. And you're like, oh, my God, this is the best beer. Let me tell you, camping loving, it's the best loving. We had some love. Me and our friends took our kids down because they had a boat too. They took all of our kids, and so it was just like nobody around. Like all the campers around us were gone. Everybody in our campsite was gone. Our whole group was gone, and we were just like, we should probably take advantage of this because it's not that big. Look, you may not understand. If you're like 20 years old, you probably don't even understand what I'm talking about. You're like, what? Just have sex anywhere, like anywhere, right? Like when you're fucking 20, you have sex anywhere. Don't give a fuck. But, when you get our age and you got kids, like, it's just, dude, it's just, you don't want to do that. Our tent's right next to, they got a separate tent, but, like, don't want your kids hearing you. It's just not okay. Creepy. So finally they're gone, and we're like, we need to take advantage of this. And Ginevra's just like, we should probably, and I was like, yeah, let's do that. And woo, let me tell you, we had some good, it was like toe curling, good loving. She was toe curling. I was like, wow, it's good for both of us. So everything's better when you're camping. I highly recommend loving when you're camping. If you're a camper, and I just recommend camping. Everybody needs to go camping. And this place where we were at, oh, it's heaven. No internet, no cell phone reception, no data, no texts, no TikTok, no Instagram, nothing. They got like a little kiosk, and I would be exaggerating if I said it was more than 50 feet. If it was a 50-foot radius of Wi-Fi up at the general store about 2/3 of a mile up, yeah, and you go there, and then there's a bunch of teenagers there, and they eat up all the Wi-Fi. But you can't do much. So I'd go up there and I'd post for like 5 minutes, kind of make sure no emergencies were happening. But that's how I was posting my stories. That's great, dude. Just not having any of that service, none of that distraction, none of that boredom to stare at some other person's life. So nice. It was awesome. Anyway, I came back and had my birthday yesterday. Had very chill birthday. It's a Monday. It's not even a big birthday. I'm 54. I'm like 54. Like, who cares? Like, big whoop. This is nothing to go. I'm not going to go party on a Monday night. I just got back from fucking 8 days of party. I'm like, I'm going to go easy today. And in fact, I'm going to go easy for the week. I'm actually going to be sober all week until happy hour on Friday. And but I came home. My wife, when I first met my wife, she was a vegetarian. And up until that point, I had never had vegetarian food. And so one of the favorite things that she used to make when she first started making food, she'd make this vegetable lasagna. Tons of cheese and ricotta cheese and Parmesan and all the fresh mozzarella with the low moisture mozzarella. Oh. So I was like, you know what? I haven't had your veggie. It's a big old to do. It's a 5-hour project. And so she made me that with a salad. And then she made me, everybody knows I love the peanut butter stouts, right? I'm a big peanut butter and chocolate kind of dude. Reese's peanut butter cups, get the fuck out. Kill that shit. I love it. She made me a homemade from scratch dark peanut butter and chocolate cake. Oh, dude. It was so good. It was butter. It was butter. It was peanut buttery. It was so dark chocolate sauce all over it, like peanut butter. She chopped up a Reese's peanut butter cup, and I'm gonna go home and have some of that. I want some of that right now. It was so decadent, and she must have put, I don't know how much butter and oil she put in there, but it was decadent. It was so moist. Oh, I loved it. So it was a good birthday. Got some cool gifts from they got me some shorts. They got me some stuff. It's summer right now, so I'm all about the Under Armour style shorts. And made me nice cards, the kids and her. Yeah, it was cool. It was a cool little hang. Very, very low key. I didn't want to make a big old production out of it. And so I was fucking tired. I got back from the next day of the camping, and I was just like, dude, I was wiped out. I was a zombie walking around. So yeah, it was a good good week. I had a good week, and then we dropped the Logan and Lauren podcast, and then I didn't have any reception that day, and just whatever, didn't get it out there. But we promoted it a couple of days later. I think you guys liked it. I saw a bunch of comments. Lauren's funny, right? Holy shit, she's fucking funny. But so yeah, man. It's been good. And then birthday morning, woke up, had a little morning loving with the sugar pie. So it was good. I've been on a roll. Some good loving. I probably shouldn't tell this story, but it's funny. She leans over and she's like, I'm just sleeping. And I wake up and I've got a giant hard on. Men, you know what I'm talking about. You just wake up, you got a hard on sometimes. Not every day, but sometimes you just got a fucking raging hard on. Woke up. She puts her hands on my chest and she's like, good morning. And I was like, good morning. She was just like, kind of gives me the eye, and I was just like, you'll be happy to know I've got a raging heart on right now. I was like, let's go. So we did. It was great. It's fucking great. It's my English accent. I tell you what, this is going to be kind of an interesting podcast in the sense that I didn't have a guest this week. Like lagged. I couldn't even reach out to anybody to fucking get a guest, and I was like, fuck it. I had an interview today, and the interview that I did was actually really cool. And I recorded it, and he recorded it as well. It's for a podcast, a new podcast called Life Is Peachy. It's a nu metal-based podcast. I hate that word, nu metal, but whatever. It's a nu metal-based podcast, and this dude's giant Burning Red fan. And so he's been bugging me like for a couple of months now, I want to say. And I was like, all right. And I was like, finally, the anniversary for the Burning Red is coming up in a couple of weeks. And also, let me just plug this right now. If you did not know, this Friday, when this drops, it'll be my birthday bash happy hour. So tune in for that one. Going to be a good one. It's going to have a theme of wearing feminine robes, pink robes preferably, along with other ridiculousness. Somebody asked us to perform like the Chili Peppers and only cock socks. I don't know if we're going to do all that, but maybe. I'm not opposed to it. Just got to get some, we got to get like the proper socks. I've only got like, I got those like ankle high socks. So we need to get slightly bigger socks. And I'd get them in white too. I don't want black socks. Make it look small, man. Got to get the white socks, make it look bigger. So that's coming up this Friday. And then next Friday, July 20th, so that's July 23rd. Then July 29th, Burning Red full album playthrough. First time ever. Every song going to be it'll be the live debut of I Defy, live debut of Five, live debut of Devil with the King's Card. It's only been played one time. So that's pretty cool coming up. And then the week after that, Burn My Eyes 27th anniversary playthrough. Full band. Logan Mader, Chris Contos, J-Mac, me. Yeah, that's going to be a good one too, man. That's coming up. So we got some good happy hour stuff coming up if you tune into the happy hours, which happen every Friday, 3 p.m. California time, which is PST. Depending on where you are, make that accordingly. So yeah, we got some good happy hour stuff coming up. That's going to be cool. But I just wanted to get back to the Burning Red thing. We got the Burning Red playthrough coming up, and so as to celebrate the Burning Red's 22nd anniversary, this guy's been like, I really love the record. Let me get you on my podcast and talk about it. And it ended up being a really good podcast. This one, I recorded it with his permission, and as we were doing it, it was just really good. And I think if you're a fan of that record, you're really going to love it. So what we agreed to do, I said, can I record it just to see? And I was going to put the whole thing up, but I don't want to put the whole thing up because he's going to do a whole thing with it. And so maybe I'll put the whole thing up later after him, but I'm going to give you a teaser of it right now. So I'm going to give you like 20 minutes of me talking. Unfortunately, he was the host, and so he was recording it, but he wasn't recording the video. I'm not exactly sure why. And then he couldn't figure out how to allow me to record the video. So this will be without video. This will be audio only. So, we'll just have something up on the screen, probably my dumb, no fucking regrets face. But, yeah, it was really good stuff, man. And we went really deep. We went really deep into that record and some interesting stuff that I don't know if people know. And, maybe some of you do, but I think a lot of the stuff that's going to be talked about is stuff that you've never heard. And so I'm going to give you the 20-minute teaser. Then his is going to come out the following Tuesday, 4 days later, or 3 days later, 5 days later. I don't know, whatever. Mine's going to drop on Friday. His will drop on Tuesday. And then I'll probably drop just the whole unedited thing because I think he's going to edit it and add some stuff and songs and yada, yada, yada. And, I think you'll get a kick out of it because it's some really, really cool backstory stuff. And he was very knowledgeable and it went really good. So I'm just going to give you a 20-minute teaser of this interview that's going to be coming out on, what is that, the 27th? Something like that. Yeah. So 4 days after this. And yeah, man, I hope you enjoy. I will, I think, include a link. Maybe Bobby Hutchinson or my new producer, whoever my new producer is, can include a link to, or like one of those things in YouTube where it goes automatically. I don't know, whatever. Just enjoy. I'll do the outro right after this. But yeah, check it out. This is called From the Life Is Peachy. This is a teaser of the Life Is Peachy podcast that's dropping in about 4 days.
You were talking about the vocals and wanting to really bring something more out with that. That led actually to my next question, where I wanted to say, for me, there was really a lot of beautiful moments vocally on the album, especially with regards to the clean vocals. Most songs have a moment where the cleans really soar and take you away to a place of tranquility. And of course, Machine Head songs have always contained clean vocals, yet here they felt somewhat evolved in this captivating way, this storytelling way. I don't know, but where did this exploration of your singing come from, and how did you have the confidence to come out like this on the album?
I could always sing, and I sang throughout the first two records, probably more than most people would realize, but especially when we first started out, we were playing with hardcore bands and death metal bands and punk rock bands and grindcore bands. And so singing was just like, yeah, there's no reason for that. Let's just, bellow and screech. And, I'm just trying to fucking get everybody to murder each other in the pit. And, I will give Ross a lot of credit for that. He I just, like I said, I was changing, I was kind of going through all this like therapy, and I'm really trying to get back in touch with the old me, and I just, I was like, I want to sing, I want to sing, and like it was scary, it was very scary, doing all this singing, songs like Silver, or especially the Burning Red. Like, I remember I was terrified of putting out the Burning Red. Like, 5 and the Burning Red were this giant, horrific scar that I was peeling open and sifting through. And, it was very traumatic for me. And I remember when I was done with those two songs, like, I didn't even want to put them out. I wanted to take them off the record. I was just like, I can't, like, I don't want to hear this every day. Like, I don't want to think about this. Like, I don't, and then I lived with it for a while, and I was like, if someone, those two songs in particular, that, 5 is dealing with me being molested when I was 5 years old. And then the Burning Red is about me trying to commit suicide at 17. And, dealing with both of them, even just recording them, like, it took me a long time to be able to even go in and record the vocals for 5. Like, I probably dragged that one out as long as I possibly could, because I knew I was writing about it, and, the lyrics were about that. And then I tried it a couple times and just kind of couldn't get through it. And then I wrote a new batch of lyrics for 5, and I went in there and I took off all my clothes, and I was naked, and I sang the whole song, and I probably sang 2 takes of it, maybe total, and then I just like collapsed on the ground. And I collapsed on the ground and just laid on the ground for like an hour and a half, like just in the bottom of the vocal booth, just on the carpet. And Adam came in at some point. Adam, our bass player, came in and just kind of sat with me for a while. And, you know, eventually I just got up and I got dressed and I went out and I sat. There was this, there was like a bench in front of the studio, and the bench overlooked the ocean, you know, because we're in Malibu. And the ocean was a couple miles away still, but I just remember sitting out there, and I sat on that bench for like 3 hours, just staring at the ocean and processing everything that I had just done. And, you know, I was shattered, you know, like I was just fucking shattered. And the whole time I was sitting there, I had those 2, we had kind of fucked around with the melody for the Burning Red in rehearsals, the chorus melody, and it never really went anywhere. But I just had that going through my head, and I started writing lyrics just in my head, and I came up with the little guitar line in my head, and I don't know if it was the next day. I want to say it was the next day, but I went in, I can't remember, but within at least a couple of days, I just went in and I said, hey, I want to try this thing that I thought out while I was sitting on the bench looking at the ocean the other day after this traumatic experience of singing this fucking song. And we did it, and we did it really fast. Like, we probably played through the music maybe 1 or 2 times and recorded it, and then I wrote some words and sang it, and you know, it was this very vulnerable, very I don't even know. I was putting so much of my life out, you know, and that's what freaked me out. Like, and so I finished it, and I listened to it, and I added the piano, I added all the other stuff, and then that's when I freaked out, because I was like, I don't know if I want to I don't want people to know about this, about my life. And, you know, in the song 5, I had touched on this in other songs. I had touched on it in None But My Own from the first album. I had touched on it in Spine off the second album, but I had, like, you know, now I'm telling the whole story. Like, I'm in a garage, this guy, you know, all this stuff that this dude did to me, like, you know, it was raw, and it was almost for too much for me to think about. And so that's why I freaked out. I was like, I don't want this on the record. I don't want people to know this. And then after a while, I was like, you know, if there's anybody else in the whole world who has gone through this or a similar experience, you know, maybe this will help them get through it. You know, I almost killed myself because of what happened. You know, and maybe somebody will hear this when they're about to kill themselves, and maybe this song will help them realize that it'll get better, that there's light at the end of the tunnel, that there's, you know, to just keep on taking one step after the other and get through it. And that made me ultimately decide to put it on.
When you have songs like that, like 5 and The Burning Red, that were obviously so much for you to do, and then to process it afterwards, like you said, what is the catalyst for going there and going to that place in the first place, deciding to go that deep with 5? Was it a similar ethos that you were aware that this could make a difference for someone? Was that one of the main reasons, or was there something else? No,
it was very personal. You know, I mean, like I said, I had been, you know, this self-destructive path that I had been on for quite a while. You know, a lot of it stemmed from shit like that had happened. You know, like those those formative things that happen in your childhood. And, you know, I didn't, you know, I never try and write anything, you know, like when I write lyrics, I just write lyrics. Like I just fucking try ideas and I sing, and some, you know, I'll throw away like 9 versions of a song, you know, like I'll write a whole version of a song and then I'll throw it away because I'm like, this doesn't really match the song, you know, like this doesn't match the vibe. And so, you know, I think I don't know what I tried originally with the music for 5. And Aru, our new guitar player at the time, he had written most of the music for that. You know, I just tried a bunch of ideas and nothing really stuck. And then I just started writing about, you know, it was all very fresh for me, like going through therapy, like I'm fucking dealing with all this shit and, you know, peeling the onion about the molest. And so it was all very at the front of my brain. And, you know, so I started singing about that one day and probably the chorus lyrics and it stuck. And I was like, yeah, this is what this song is about.
Going by stories about artists working with Ross Robinson, did he play any role in pushing you to be so vulnerable or to go places, or is that something that just naturally happened as you were talking about then with 5?
I think it was a combination. You know, it was definitely, you know, where my head was at and him helping to bring that out. You know, Ross was, you know, very inspirational in that way. You know, like he could really, like, you know, he was like a psychologist in the studio. Like he's like trying to get you like mad or trying to get you sad or you know, like he's trying to get you just in some headspace to, you know, bring whatever out, whatever the emotion you're trying to bring out. And, you know, I do really feel like he, you know, it's one of my best vocal performances on record ever. You know, like I really felt like he just pushed me and got me pissed off. And, you know, like Logan had just quit and like I'd be singing a song like Devil with the King's Card, which, you know, required me to be super pissed and super, you know, raw. And he'd run up like mid vocal with like a picture of Logan and stick it like on the studio window wall so I could see it, like, fuck Logan. And I'm just like, you know, it was, you know, looking back, it was very childish, but it was fucking hilarious. And, you know, kind of like, all right, I see what you're going for. You know, he would do, and it was crazy too, because Slipknot, who was unsigned at the time and was signing to his new record label through Roadrunner, which was IM Recordings, through Roadrunner, which was now through a major label. So it was like this big, you know, push to set it up. You know, they came down kind of near the end of the first session of their first recording session for that record. And we actually lived together for like a week. And I didn't know who these were. You know, obviously they're just like 9 dudes from Iowa at this point. Like they're not wearing masks or jumpsuits or, you know, like, I don't know. I'm like, 9 dudes, like, geez, like, how are you going to split the money? Like, what the fuck? And you know, I have no idea what this band's about. Like, I've never seen pictures. I've never even heard of them. Like, there's no anything around. And so they're just hanging out. And, you know, like a lot of times I was recording and all those dudes were in the recording booth, like with Ross, like listening to me record. And, you know, at one point during the recording of the song Nothing Left, him and Joey Jordison just ran into the vocal booth and started like screaming behind me during that build-up section in the middle of Nothing Left. I got nothing left for nobody else. They came in like right as the build-up kicked in and just like would scream like in time with fucking, so like it would go, I got nothing left for nobody else. I got nothing left for nobody. Ah, there's a scream in the background. That's Joey Jordison and Ross that just jumped in and screamed. And I was like, that sounds awesome. Like, let's keep that. That's fucking rad. And so, you know, like little things like that, like just little things, you know, it was just a crazy time. And then they started recording and I'd go in and record vocals after they were done. So I was kind of hanging around with those guys. I started hearing the music and then they started mixing and I was constantly around for that because I had to finish my vocals. So I started hearing all the mixes and I was like, oh, wow, this is some really cool shit, like really different. And, you know.
yeah, at that point in time, if you would turn a CD over and see produced by Ross Robinson, recorded at Indigo Ranch, for me, that naturally generated instant excitement and anticipation towards a unique emotional release. Do you have any other, memories that come to mind from recording The Burning Red at Indigo Ranch that have really stayed with you?
I can't remember the owner's name, but he was rad. He was this fucking old hippie, like huge beard, just always wearing barbecuing all the time. Super nice. I'm totally brain farting on his name, but he was super nice guy. We could go hike around. We had a lot of parties, man. Like, holy shit, it was fucking insane. We were maniacs. And people would come up, people would drive 25 miles, last 7 miles, just all like cliffside to like have parties at our thing. And yeah, we had some ragers up there. It was fun. I remember, there was times when I wasn't digging it, I remember when we recorded Message in a Bottle. Like we all went out and we did a bunch of coke with Dean Carr. We're fucking coming down from coke and booze and Aru started playing what starts the song now. And I just started fucking around. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I was still like high kind of, but I'm coming down. And we did it. And we ended up fucking around with the song. And in my mind, it was like, this is a good B-side. This doesn't need to be on the record, but this would be a good B-side. We had recorded, we had done, we were really trying to do some unique covers for the record, for like the bonus version of the album. And so we had recorded Bad Brains' House of Suffering. We had done a cover of Venom's Black Metal that never actually got finished. And then we started fucking around with Message in a Bottle. And so in my mind, those were the 3 bonus tracks for the special edition. Because, back then Roadrunner always had like the main version. Then they had the Digipack with 3 extra songs and some other bullshit. And so you always had to record the other bullshit in order for the record. And then at one point, Ross just really started like whipping everybody up, Dave and Adam and Aru to like, yeah, we got to put this on the record. Like, look, Orgy's having a big hit with Blue Monday. Like, you guys could. And I was totally not into it. I was so not into it. And I kind of fought tooth and nail. And in the end, like, got outvoted. And I was like, all right, well, maybe this works. We'll try it. And Ross could be very influential like that. And, to me, like, I think it's a good cover. Bizarrely, it's like in our top 10 of Spotify songs now, which is just fucking makes zero sense to me because we played it live one time. I think it's a okay cover, but it just kind of messed up the flow of the record to me. Like it just was like whatever. And I don't know. I don't even know why this song is like. Maybe it's because the Police are so popular, like how the algorithm on Spotify works. But I'm like, this song should not be in our top 20. Like, this song should not be in our top. This song shouldn't be in our top 50 Spotify. So, like, we never play it. Like, no one cares. Like, no Machine Head fan cares. So, I don't know. It was something that, we did and, like, whatever. Anyway, guys, there you go. That was a 20-minute sampler of the Life Is Peachy podcast that is going to be dropping pretty soon, next week. And we'll include a link on where you can find it. And if you're interested, and of course, we'll probably plug it on all the Machine Head socials. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this podcast. Hope you guys have a killer weekend. Tune in for my birthday bash, Electric Happy Hour, Friday, July 23rd. Following Friday will be the Burning Red album playthrough in its entirety. Week after that, Burn My Eyes album playthrough in its entirety. Everybody else, peace out, guys. You guys have a good one, all right? Late. No fucking regrets! With Robb. Flynn.